Oh yeah?
Sorry. There you go. Sorry about that.
Introduction, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Just hey, this is your boy Trey with Let's Just Talk Trey with Let's Just Talk Books with Jeremiah and Kay. And Jeremiah again is breaking down to us what books or book he has already finished. So
Well, as you guys know, I had a book that I worked on
yeah.
called The Great Turtle Tour.
Yep.
And I finally went back and started really putting my head into editing this thing and fixing this thing and making it flow properly, right?
Nice. Yeah.
Well, I came to my conclusion that I'm just retyping this thing because it is, you could definitely tell I wrote it while I was
Mm,
hallucinating and high on a lot of drugs from the doctors.
yeah. Okay. Okay. You're rewriting the
But
entire book?
I'm rewriting the entire book.
A true artist.
But
A true
on the
artist.
bright side, I did finish a short 250-page book yesterday of Jarek. Remember those pictures I was showing you the other day?
Mm. Yeah.
So I finished the first book in his series.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing, man. You finished the
And that
first book?
one finished the first book. It is called The Children of the Breach.
Oh, that's nice. That's
That's
nice.
when you sent me some the snippets and the character stuff, right?
Yep, that's the one.
Cool. I have not had time to read it yet, so
Hey, it happens. But I went ahead and I wrote myself essentially a book report here
Wow.
so I could give you guys some information. So I'll just go ahead and read from this. Well, first off, I got a quick summary here. It says the Children of the Breach follows Jarek, a young man's life who is shattered when the world isn't he knows it is torn apart by a catastrophic event known as the Sundering. Starting with peaceful, heartfelt scenes of friendship and belonging, the story escalates rapidly when mysterious earthquakes and ruptures open beneath his hometown. His closest friends, Mikey and Taka, are swallowed by the earth at an abandoned quarry, and his adoptive parents are brutally murdered by an ancient vampire like figure named Shao.
Awesome, bro. So that's the prelude.
That's basically the prelude, yeah.
Uh,
Any questions from that?
what is inspiring this story? Like, where's this coming from?
This story, oh, it got inspired by the anime of the 90s,
Mm.
very much.
Oh.
Specifically, there's an anime I watched. It's hard to find, but it's called Blue Seed.
Oh, I've heard of Blue Seed. Somebody brought up
It's
before. Yeah, yeah.
it is an excellent anime, and the
Mm.
character Jarek is actually based off of the male character of that series.
Wait, based off of
Ex-
who?
the male character of the Blue Seed series.
Wow.
I
Nice.
forget his name.
Nice.
And obviously, the design has changed a lot over the
Yeah.
years.
Hmm.
But that's what it was really based off of. It was first a martial arts story about a martial arts school.
Wow.
Then it slowly transformed into what it is now, by saying, okay, well, I want more monsters here.
Yeah.
Well, this doesn't make sense. Where did the monsters come from? Well, okay, they came from here.
Mm.
Okay, well, now I know that. What's my time period? And originally the time period was like 400 or 500 years, but I've shortened that down to about 150.
Wow. Damn, 150. My goodness. Wow. Is it
So
is there any I guess like personal life trials that you've had that you're kind of incorporating into the book, even though it's
you
been
know,
inspired? Hmm.
not in this one. This one is
Okay.
just me having a good time
Okay.
writing. It's full of action, adventure, there's some comedy, there's some horror,
Hmm.
everything that I personally love.
Nice.
It is all beautifully intertwined in there. And well, I'm here, I'm tooting my own horn beautifully.
Yeah. Nothing's wrong with that, man.
So yeah, let me give you a rundown of my characters here.
Please
Of
do. Yeah.
course, we have Jarek. He's the protagonist.
Hmm.
It begins, he's an ordinary teen, but he's rooted in strong friendships. And after his gets nearly murdered by Shao and turned into a vampire. Well, he's pretty much immortal then. He becomes battle hardened and he wields blood magic and shadow magic. But
Blood magic.
despite that, he tries to stick to his humanity by always remembering his friends and family.
Wow.
Oh, what else did I write here about him? Yeah, he works for a dystopian government in the future where he's called the code name Crimson Shadow. He doesn't like working for him. He doesn't want to work for him, but it's just how it goes.
Wow.
Let's see. Then we have, his best friends, Mikey, comic relief for the group. Of course, he's named Mikey after Michelangelo.
Exactly. I knew it.
You knew it.
The reference.
Then we have Cage. He's a stoic older brother of Mikey.
Nice.
And we have Takachi or Takamichi is actually this one. Takachi is a later character in the story. So we technically have two Takas.
Wow.
They are related, so it makes sense.
Is it not kind of like a Naruto reference? Inspiration?
The name Taka?
I thought I heard Tachi.
No, Taka.
Taka. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and his full name is Takachi.
Takachi. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, he's part Japanese. Wait, no, is he? I'll have to remember his ethnicity.
You said
I
Chinese.
already forgot it.
I think you said Chinese and white.
No, that's Jarek.
That's Jarek. Oh, okay.
Yeah. All of this has taken place in I think I have it taking place in Korea.
Oh, wow. Why Korea?
It just fit with that anime, sci-fi, futuristic, dystopian thought I wanted to go for. Kind of like Akira.
Okay.
But, he destroyed Japan, so I got to put it somewhere.
Yeah.
And we got Hannah and Ji-hoon. They are Jarek's adoptive parents. They're both Korean. And we have Shao. He's the main antagonist. He's ancient. He's ruthless. He's old world mythology vampire. And he does not give a damn.
Oh, dang.
He is there for one thing. He's going to destroy the world. He's going to remake it in his image. Then we got one of the love interests, Kyrie. She is a future ally of Jarek. She's a tech witch.
Wait, what's a tech witch?
She uses magic and she integrates it into technology. She's kind of the heart of the team, the little heart and soul, keeps everybody together, keeps them grounded. The mom of the group, let's say.
The mom of the group, okay.
And then we got Takachi, like I said earlier. And he's the descendant of the other Takachi.
Have you already drawn up these characters, or?
I have drawings of Jarek.
Okay.
The other ones, I'm still mulling over designs, but I have a rough idea what I'm going for. I mean, I know what they look like when they're older.
Did you want to share a screen? Did you want to share some of that on here as well?
You know what? I do have a picture of Takachi when he's older.
Okay.
Give me just a minute here to get things organized.
Yeah.
You guys can discuss something else in the meantime. Maybe even start bringing up C.S. Lewis.
I did have another question about your book.
Oh, yes, of course.
I keep asking him questions about his book.
That's messed up. The Kay's like, I don't want to read right now. No,
I'm on a roll with these hearts.
No, I got you. I guess I would also ask, do you think this book will be, or how will this book be different from any of the other books that you've written so far?
Well, The Great Turtle Tour is essentially about me. Just this whole fantasy of what I kind of wish like life would have been for me.
Yeah.
Even the hardships in the book.
Yeah.
Because the main character, he's dealt with everything that I've dealt with. He's dealt with trauma, abuse in the past,
Yeah.
you know, alcoholism, severe alcoholism.
Yeah.
He went into severe drug use as well. I hadn't done that,
Yeah.
but thankfully.
Yeah.
And in the book as well, he currently has my ailments. He has cirrhosis of the liver. He has failed kidneys. He has heart disease. You know,
Yeah.
all the good stuff that keeps him moving.
Wow. Man, you're putting what's making it so easy for you to put everything out there? Like you're telling us even now on a recording that you're yeah,
Funny
like
enough, I have an answer for that.
mhm.
When my sickness really got bad and I started hallucinating and having seizures and my mind would break sometimes and I would just not realize what's reality and what's not.
Yeah.
Uh, I went onto Facebook. This is a great story. I went
Mm.
onto Facebook and I proceeded to type out every secret and everything I had ever held inside, ever.
Wow.
And I hit that post button.
Wow. Wait, you posted it?
Yep. It's somewhere on my Facebook still.
Yo.
It's somewhere down there, but you really got to search.
What did the comments say? What did people say?
People were actually very understanding. I
What?
got a lot of it's going to be okay, Jeremiah. We understand.
Wow.
You know, we're praying for you. There was a
Wow.
lot of nobody was cruel or unkind to me.
Wow.
You know, my
Wow.
Facebook went from 75 friends to well over 500 or whatever I have now.
Wow.
I run a I have a GoFundMe account that I'm trying to use to help get me funds to pay back my medical bills.
Wow. Send me that, man. If you don't mind, send me that.
Oh yeah, I'll send it to you after we're done here.
Okay. Because I don't really like people posting in the groups in terms of like trying to promote or things. But that
Yeah,
would be something.
please don't think I was promoting or anything. That's
No,
not the
no,
intention.
no, no, no. I'm saying that's something that I would post in the group.
Okay.
That's something but I would like to post it so that other people wouldn't get the idea of like, hey, let me post, I'm
Yeah.
as the admin, I'll post it. Yeah. Or like Kay, if she posted it, then you would know like, okay, we've talked about it.
Oh yeah, shoot, I was supposed to share my screen. That's how this works.
Yeah, man. I would love to see it.
All right, so I got just two drawings pulled up right now. One of which is Jarek, and the other one is uh, his best friend Takachi.
Okay.
Now, the Takachi I'm showing you is not when he's a teenager; it's when he's a full-grown adult.
Hmm.
So it's kind of a spoiler. We all love spoilers.
And I gave you
Come
permission
on.
to share it too.
I'm just trying to figure out why Zoom's not letting me click on what I'm trying to click on. Oh, that's why. You're right there. Alrighty. So first off, of course, we have Jarek. He is the main character. This is a new drawing I just did of him, if you could see it.
I can't see it.
I can't see it. Yeah.
Oh, wait, there we go.
There you go. Yep. Perfect.
Just a nice generic pose. You
Oh,
can
man,
see him,
that's
his
dope.
shadow powers coming off his hands like that, and his eyes glowing red with the vampire
That
blood.
is dope.
I absolutely love it. This is my favorite character of all time that I have ever created. He holds such a place in my heart.
Wow. Look at
Yeah,
the
Jarek Matsunuri.
look at the background work, man. Like to be honest, man, I know you love like doing character work, but your background and environmental work is, I think,
Oh, I
phenomenal.
love doing backgrounds too. I went,
Too.
I did the whole Bob Ross oil painting
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's amazing, man.
So I absolutely love oil painting, and I just incorporated the same style of oil painting into digital painting,
Wow.
and it just seemed to work out just fine.
Yeah.
All right, and then, unless you have any questions here.
Uh, what? Why shadow powers, or like why this?
It explains in the book, but it's essentially my way for him to be super fast.
Gotcha.
He merges
Ninja.
into one shadow, appears from another.
Wow. Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh God, that vampire moves faster than anyone can see.
Yeah.
It's not that he's moving fast, it's just that he's displacing himself between shadows.
Wow.
That just kind of, yeah, I don't remember where that came from in my brain.
No, but that's dope, man. That is dope.
And as for the blood powers, that got inspired by Hellsing.
Wow.
Hellsing Ultimate, if you haven't read it or seen the anime, definitely check it out. It's one of the greatest animes of all time, in my opinion.
That's amazing. That's
There
amazing.
you are. I thought we lost you for a second.
Sorry about that. I was talking with my mom. But wait, so so he's more so I'm assuming like during the day he's not really out that much because
He can be out during the day.
Okay.
There's something significant about him, and you probably didn't catch it when I was reading about his powers, and that's fine. I didn't want you to catch it. That's why I said it kind of quiet and quick.
Mm.
So
Look,
you'll see.
I thought you were gonna say it. Okay.
Don't worry, I'm gonna send you the book too, Trey.
Okay.
It's not a long one like the Turtle Tour at 800 pages.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah.
This is just a 250-page book, average length for creating a book series, because that's what this one is going to be, as a series.
Gotcha. Hey, if it's good, we're gonna read it.
Well, I'm glad.
Absolutely.
All right, let me see if I can pull up that picture of Takachi. I may have to stop sharing for a second.
Okay.
And go ahead and share again. So again, this is his best friend Takachi. This is him probably in his 50s. And you may have even seen this drawing before.
Wow. It looks familiar.
And obviously he's been through hell.
You said he's been through hell?
Yep. Remember I said
yeah.
it was Taka and Mikey who fell into the crevice.
Gotcha. And he's is he Native American?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was confusing myself earlier, because I have so many Native American characters.
I think you told us,
obviously, because of my culture.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you told us in the beginning that you cater towards Native American like culture, right? Or something like that.
Characters, yeah.
What was your reason
I don't want to, because I'm Native American.
That's what it was. Okay, gotcha. That's what it was.
Ojibwe.
Nice, man.
Remember, my Ojibwe name is Geechee Misquadesi, Big Turtle.
Ah, that's what it was. Okay. What Native American tribe are you associated with?
The Anishinaabe Chippewa of Red Cliff.
That is so dope. How did you find those roots? Like was it your grandpa or your
I lived on the reservation for 30 years.
Really?
Yeah, dude. It was great. But it is now 9:30 for you guys, I believe, and that means I get to listen to you talk.
Yeah. We get to listen to Kay.
Trey, you need to go first, because otherwise you'll fall asleep.
You said otherwise what?
You'll fall asleep.
You are low down. You just want to do your hearts.
If you can promise you won't fall asleep, I'll read.
Yeah, I'll probably fall asleep.
No. I might. I haven't slept in 2 days.
Really? Man, we were just talking about sleep.
We were.
I know. That's what she said earlier, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, man. We were talking man, actually that call would have been perfect for Jeremiah.
Okay, fine. I can read if you want me to read.
Please.
Okay.
Please put everybody to sleep. Everybody's about to go to sleep. TikTok, y'all are about to go to sleep.
Get comfy, guys.
Right. Get comfy. Jeremiah, like, seriously, you might want to get comfy.
I'm gonna prop my feet up here.
Yeah, when Kara reads, it's over. It is over.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, Jeremiah, and also TikTok, but we are already at chapter 11 in this book. So,
Yep.
Which book is this?
The Magician's Nephew.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
And Kate, before you start, I just wanted to say, Jeremiah, I got so many other questions. Like that book, your characters, your storyline, like the plot, your background, the Native American back, like all that, bro. Like you know, I definitely want you to know I got so many more questions. You have such an interesting life, and I can't wait to dissect them more.
We'll talk about it more. Don't worry.
Absolutely, you got to come into these calls more, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
Absolutely. Remember, if you're a moderator or if you pay, then you can join the private.
That's right.
Either
Yep.
way.
Either way.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Wait, so how long am I reading for? Till 9:45?
Till yeah. So I guess you get like 15. So what's that? 9:45.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I'll read. Yep.
Right.
Or you may just get the whole entire time if you want. I mean, it's fine.
I know. Anyways, we'll see. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Chapter 11. Diggory and his uncle are both in trouble. You may think the animals were very stupid not to see at once that Uncle Andrew was the same kind of creature as the two children and the cabby. But you must remember that the animals knew nothing about clothes. They thought that Polly's frock and Diggory's Norfolk suit and the cabby's howlet hat were as much parts of them as their own fur and feathers. They wouldn't have known even that those three were all the same kind if they hadn't spoken to them, and if Strawberry had not seemed to think so. Uncle Andrew was a great deal taller than the children and a good deal thinner than the cabby. He was all in black except for his white waistcoat, not very white by now, and the great gray mop of his hair, now very wild indeed, didn't look to them like anything they had seen in the three other humans. So it was only natural that they should be puzzled. Worst of all, he didn't seem to be able to talk. He had tried to. When the bulldog spoke to him, or as he thought, first snarled and then growled at him, he held out his shaking hand and gasped, "Good doggy, then poor old fellow." But the beasts could not understand him any more than he could understand them. They didn't hear any words, only a vague sizzling noise. Perhaps it was just as well they didn't, for no dog that I ever knew, least of all a talking dog of Narnia, likes being called a good doggy then, any more than you would like being called my little man. Then Uncle Andrew dropped down in a dead faint. "There," said a warthog. "It's only a tree. I always thought so." Remember, they had never yet seen a faint or even a fall. The bulldog, who had been sniffing Uncle Andrew all over, raised his head and said, "It's an animal, certainly an animal, and probably the same kind as those other ones." "I don't see that," said one of the bears. "An animal wouldn't just roll over like that. We're animals and we don't roll over. We stand up like this." He rose to his hind legs, took a step backwards, tripped over a low branch, and fell flat on his back. "The third joke! The third joke! The third joke!" said the jackdaw in great excitement. "I still think it's a sort of tree," said the warthog. "If it's a tree," said the other bear, "there might be a bee's nest in it." "I'm sure it's not a tree," said the badger. "I had a sort of idea it was trying to speak before it toppled over." "That was only the wind in its branches," said the warthog. "You surely don't mean," said the jackdaw to the badger, "that you think it's a talking animal? It didn't say any words." "And yet, you know," said the elephant. The she-elephant, of course. Her husband, as you remember, had been called away by Aslan. "And yet, you know it might be an animal of some kind. Mightn't the whitish lump at this end be a sort of face? And couldn't those holes be eyes and a mouth? No nose, of course, but then, one mustn't be narrow-minded. Very few of us have what could be exactly be called a nose." She squinted down the length of her own trunk with pardonable pride. "I ought to remark very strongly," said the bulldog, The elephant is quite right, said the tapir. I tell you what, said the donkey brightly. Perhaps it's an animal that can't talk but thinks it can. Can it be made to stand up? Said the elephant thoughtfully. She took the limp form of Uncle Andrew gently in her trunk and set him up end, upside down, unfortunately, so that two half sovereigns, three half crowns, and a sixpence fell out of his pocket. But it was no use. Uncle Andrew merely collapsed again. There, said several voices. It isn't an animal at all. It's not alive. I tell you it's an animal, said the bulldog. Smell it for yourself. Smelling isn't everything, said the elephant. Why, said the bulldog, if a fellow can't trust his nose, what is he to trust? Well, his brain, perhaps, she replied proudly. I object to that remark very strongly, said the bulldog. Well, it must be something about it, said the elephant, because it may be the Neville, and it must be shown to Aslan. What do most of us think? Is it an animal or something of the tree kind? Tree, tree, said a dozen voices. Very well, said the elephant. Then if it's a tree, it wants to be planted. We must dig a hole. The two moles settled that part of the business pretty quickly. There was some dispute as to which way up Uncle Andrew ought to be put into the hole, and he had a very narrow escape from being put in head foremost. Several animals said his legs must be his branches, and therefore the gray fluffy thing, they meant his head, must be his root. But then others said that the forked end of him was the muddier, and that it spread out more as roots ought to do. So finally he was planted right way up. When he had patted down the earth, it came up above his knees. It looks dreadfully withered, said the donkey. Of course it wants some watering, said the elephant. I think I might say, meaning no offense to anyone present, that perhaps for that sort of work, my kind of nose. I object to that remark very strongly, said the bulldog. But the elephant walked quietly to the river, filled her trunk with water, and came back to attend to Uncle Andrew. The sagacious animal went on doing this till gallons of water had been squirted over him, and water was running out of the skirts of his frock coats as if he had been for a bath with all his clothes on. In the end, it revived him. He awoke from his faint. What awakening it was! But we must leave him to think over his wicked deed, if he was more likely to do anything so sensible and turn to more important things. So here's a picture of the elephant watering Uncle Andrew. It's hard to
That's so dope. Wait, can I say that one more time? Hey, that's so dope. Thank you for showing that.
Strawberry trotted on with Diggory on his back.
Did you show TikTok?
I did.
Okay.
See them out. Strawberry trotted on with Diggory on his back till the noise of the other animals died away, and now the little group of Aslan and his chosen counselors was quite close. Diggory knew that he couldn't possibly break in on so solemn a meeting, but there was no need to do so. At a word from Aslan, the he-elephant, the ravens, and all the rest of them drew aside. Diggory slipped off the horse and found himself face to face with Aslan. And Aslan was bigger and more beautiful, and more brightly golden, and more terrible than he thought. He dared not look into the great eyes. Please, Mr. Lion, Aslan, sir, said Diggory, may I, please? Will you give me some magic fruit of this country to make my mother well? He had been desperately hoping that the lion would say yes. He had been horribly afraid it might say no. But he was taken aback when it did neither. This is the boy, said Aslan, looking not at Diggory, but at his counselors. This is the boy who did it. Oh dear, thought Diggory, what have I done now? Son of Adam, said the lion, there is an evil witch abroad in my new land of Narnia. Tell these good beasts how she came here. A dozen different things that he might say flashed through Diggory's mind, but he had the sense to say nothing except the exact truth. I brought her, Aslan, he answered in a low voice. For what purpose? I wanted to get her out of my own world, back into her own. I thought I was taking her back into her own place. How came she to be in your world, son of Adam? By by magic. The lion said nothing, and Diggory knew that he had not told enough. It was my uncle, Aslan, he said. He sent us out of our own world by magic rings. At least I had to go because he sent Polly first, and then we met the witch in a place called Charn, and she just held on to us when you met the witch, said Aslan in a low voice, which had the threat of a growl in it. She woke up, said Diggory wretchedly, and then turning very white. I mean, I woke her because I wanted to know what would happen if I struck a bell. Polly didn't want to. It wasn't her fault. I fought her. I know I shouldn't have. I think I was a bit enchanted by the writing under the bell. Do you? Asked Aslan, still speaking very low and deep. No, said Diggory. I see now I wasn't. I was only pretending. There was a long pause, and Diggory was thinking all the time, I've spoiled everything. There's no chance of getting anything from Mother now. When the lion spoke again, it was not to Diggory. You see, friends, he said, that before the new clean world I gave you is 7 hours old, a force of evil has already entered it, wakened and brought hither by this son of Adam. The beasts, even Strawberry, all turned their eyes on Diggory until he felt that he wished the ground would swallow him up. But do not be cast down, said Aslan, still speaking to the beasts. Evil will come of that evil, but it still has a long way off, and I will see to it that the worst falls upon myself. In the meantime, let us take such order that for many 100 years yet this shall be a merry land and a merry world. And as Adam's race has done the harm, Adam's race shall help to heal it. Draw near, you other two. The last words were spoken to Polly and the cabby, who had now arrived. Polly, all eyes and mouth, was staring at Aslan and holding the cabby's hand rather tightly. The cabby gave one glance at the lion and took off his bowler hat. No one had yet seen him without it. When it was off, he looked younger and nicer, and more like a countryman and less like like a London cabman. Son, said Aslan to the cabby, I have known you long. Do you know me? Well, no, sir, said the cabby. Leastways, not in an ordinary manner of speaking. Yet I feel somehow I may make so free as how we've met before. It is well, said the lion. You know better than you think you know, and you shall live to know me better yet. How does this land please you? It's a fair treat, sir, said the cabby. Would you like to live here always? Well, you see, sir, I'm a married man, said the cabby. If my wife was here, neither of us would ever want to go back to London, I reckon.
Uh-oh.
Country folks, really. Aslan threw up his shaggy head, opened his mouth, and uttered a long, single note. Not very loud, but full of power. Polly's heart jumped in her body when she heard it. She felt sure that it was a call, and that anyone who heard that call would want to obey it. And what's more, would be able to obey it, however many worlds and ages lay between. And so, though she was filled with wonder, she was not really astonished or shocked when all of a sudden a young woman with a kind, honest face stepped out of nowhere and stood beside her. Polly knew at once that it was the cabby's wife, fetched out of our world, not by any tiresome magic rings, but quickly, simply, and sweetly as a bird flies to its nest. The young woman had apparently been in the middle of a washing day, for she wore an apron. Her sleeves were rolled up to her elbow, and there were soap suds on her hands. If she had had time to put on her good clothes, her best hat had imitation cherries on it. She would have looked dreadful. As it was, she looked rather nice. Of course, she thought she was dreaming. That was why she didn't rush across to her husband and ask him what on earth had happened to them both. But when she looked at the lion, she didn't feel quite so sure it was a dream. Yet for some reasons she did not appear to be very frightened. Then she dropped a little half curtsy, as some country girls she knew how to
Hey.
as some country girls still knew how to do in those days. After that, she went and put her hand in the cabbie's hand and stood there, looking round her shyly.
Yep. I was just gonna let you know. I didn't want you to have to continue reading.
Look,
Um. Oh, you showing us a picture?
yeah, that's the cabbie and fire.
That's fire.
Now it's your turn.
Yep. Yeah. I was just about to let you know. I
Your
didn't want you to.
turn.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to be unfair.
I'm literally like, I have 2 pages left of this chapter. Do you
Did
want me to
you?
go to the chapter?
If you want to, but I don't mind jumping in.
I'm gonna finish the chapter because you know how I am about that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead. No problem.
My children, said Aslan, fixing his eyes on both of them. You are to be the first king and queen of Narnia. The cabbie opened his mouth in astonishment, and his wife turned very red. You shall rule and name all these creatures, and do justice among them, and protect them from their enemies when enemies arise. And enemies will arise, for there is no witch in this world. The cabbie swallowed hard 2 or 3 times and cleared his throat. Begging your pardon, sir, he said, and thanking you very much, I'm sure, which my missus does the same. But I ain't no sort of chap for a job like that. I never had much education, you see. Well, said Aslan, can you use a spade and a plow and raise food out of the earth? Yes, sir, I could do a bit of that sort of work, being brought up to it like. Can you rule these creatures kindly and fairly, remembering that they are not slaves like the dumb beasts of the world you were born in, but talking beasts and free subjects? I see that, sir, replied the cabbie. I'd try to do the square thing by them all. And would you bring up your children and grandchildren to do the same? It'd be up to me to try, sir. I'd do my best. Wouldn't we, Nellie? And you wouldn't have favorites either among your own children or among the other creatures, or let any hold another under or use it hardly? I never could abide such goings on, sir. And that's the truth. I'd give 'em what for if I caught 'em at it, said the cabby. And all through this conversation, his voice was growing slower and richer, more like the country voice he must have had as a boy, less like the sharp, quick voice of a cock. And if enemies came against the land, for enemies will arise, and there was war, would you be the first in the charge and the last in the retreat? Well, sir, said the cabby very slowly, a chap don't exactly know till he's been tried. I dare say I might turn out ever such a softy. Never did no fighting except with my fists. I'd try, that is, I hope I'd try to do my bit. Then, said Aslan, you will have done all that a king should. Your coronation will be held presently, and you and your children and grandchildren shall be blessed. And some will be kings of Narnia, and others will be kings of Archenland, which lies yonder over the southern mountains. And you, little daughter, here he turned to Polly, are welcome. Have you forgiven the boy for the violence he did you in the Hall of Images in the desolate place of accursed charm? Yes, Aslan, we've made up, said Polly. That is well, said Aslan. And now for the boy himself. And that's the end of chapter 11.
Let's go.
That's enjoyable.
I love it. I love it.
You sound asleep.
Jeremiah, stop! Don't do that, Jeremiah. He's telling on me. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I heard something about cats and dogs. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. No, that was,
Anyway, hear the story. I'm just
I
kidding.
did, I did. But like I said, you're the perfect person to read. Like I'm gonna be recording this.
Yeah, I might have to have you read my book
See,
because I can't read out loud. I'm not good
told
at it.
you.
Yeah.
Nah, Jeremiah, you gotta have your time too, man. You gotta do it. You gotta try it one time.
You just heard me trying to read my own book report. I sounded awful.
Nah, you sound good, man.
Good.
Yeah, sounds good. I mean, it's definitely a you have to get into it, and I love the way Kara gets into how she reads. You know, she takes on each specific character.
I
Oh yeah, that's what I like to do too.
Yeah,
tried. The animals were hard though, because I don't know how I can't think of how each animal sounds. So the animals are hard.
But they're all gonna have an English accent.
Yeah. I mean, everybody should have an English accent since it's C.S. Lewis and
yeah.
they're from London, but I'm not very good at accents.
No, I love it.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed.
I enjoyed it. That was amazing. All right, I'm gonna try to squeeze in, I guess, my last few minutes.
I know. I'm sorry. You know how I am about ending the chapter.
No, I'm not complaining. Look, like I said, you almost killed me. So you like you literally stopped reading at the exact moment when I was going into my REM sleep. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
like yeah, I was going into REM and I was about to go into deep sleep. No. But I appreciate it, you. All
All
right,
right.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Now we gotta get into run now.
I know it's been a minute. It's been a
It's been
minute.
a long time.
It has. All right, let's see. Let's see. Just so you know, Jeremiah, and for people on TikTok, Run is a sci-fi horror thriller book.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is kind of up your alley, actually, Jeremiah. Like it's very much so like mysterious creatures running around, children being kidnapped, dropped off in a forest, and they have these vampire-like creatures that are just lurking and slashing and guts on the trails, and it's kids slipping over other kids' intestines as they're running away from it. It's
Oh man, yeah, I gotta read this book.
hunters are you have like
You,
actual
you,
like
you won me at kids' intestines.
yeah, dang. Yo.
Really is a very good book. It's very interesting.
Very interesting. It's very interesting. All right, y'all can sit back and relax. I may go over maybe like 10, 15 minutes over the time so we can kind of even it out, okay?
All right.
All right, let's do it. Chapter 10. So I'm almost caught up with you, okay?
You almost caught up. I mean, I'm on chapter 12 now, but yeah, we've always been like a chapter behind because
Yep.
we started
I think we started yours first.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's do it. Reed must have dozed off because he jerks awake in fresh terror at the howl of the hunters. They're called hunters, by the way, Jeremiah.
Yep.
They are far from him yet, but too close for any kind of comfort. If he had any to begin with, as he scrambles to his feet and checks his surroundings, he realizes the call itself is a weapon designed to scare him and their other prey. Knowing it doesn't make any less frightening, but the logical part of his mind that keeps trying to assert itself logs the information for later. He also makes the connection between the hunters and wild animals. According to his dad, wolves cry out during the hunt as a method of herding their chosen meal into a trap. When Reed moves out, he understands that that is probably the case with him as well. He hates to think their tactics are working, but doesn't have the courage or the heart left to do anything about it. Until he remembers Monica and what she taught him. He's been running in straight lines, for all he knows, heading right into their waiting arms. The image of her zigzagging her way through the forest triggers something inside him, a subtle but effective means of fighting back, even if only by staying out of the clutches of the hunters a little longer. He doesn't want to think about delaying the inevitable. So, instead of heading directly away from the sound, he chooses a diagonal path. The trees are still sparse here, the undergrowth thin and simple to maneuver. The canopy is thick enough that most of the direct sunlight is blocked, making it easier to see. Another howl pushes his pace forward. He considers taking his rebellion against their tactics one step further and resisting the urge to run, but knows he'll lose that fight. He reminds himself again that he needs to be smarter about it than he has been, less reacting and more planning. It's very hard to do without any real goals, suffering from a damaged and horrid soul, but he keeps returning to the thought anyway. He is rewarded by his evasive efforts when the next howl he hears echoes from a great distance. The diagonal path he is taking seems to be working. He sends a silent thank you to Monica, wherever her spirit is. Reed knows better than to get cocky, but he allows himself a brief arm pump of victory before hurrying on. After another long stretch of silence, he catches only the barest of sounds and knows he has finally managed to lose them. Either that or they decided to pursue other prey and let him live a while longer. He refuses to feel guilty this time. After all, he has no way of knowing if he's right. And even if he is, there's nothing he can do to stop it. He's done torturing himself over things he can't control. Reed needs to remember what his goals are. Save himself and save Lucy. Nothing else matters. He slows then to conserve his energy, or what remains of it, and wonders how long he can keep this up. As he does, he catches a familiar scent and comes to an abrupt halt because of it. Wood smoke drifts on the still air. Reed spins in place, searching for the source. He moves on, sniffing as he does, trying not to compare his actions to that of the hunters. There's the scent again, stronger this time. He is going the right way if he wants to navigate, if he wants to investigate, and he very much wants to investigate. Reed can't see anything over or through the trees, but the smell is unmistakable. How many campfires did he sit at with his father? Fires that smell just the same. Reed tries not to think about those happy times. They won't help him now. Instead, he forces his weary legs into a jog. The trees thin ahead, making it easier for him to spot the narrow meadow. He slows, nearing it with great caution. It must be a trap. That fact reasserts itself when he spots the withered shack in the middle of the clearing. The grass is cut and pulled away as though someone purposefully cleaned up. A trail of smoke puffs from the chimney, heading right for him. Reed hunkers down on his hunches just inside the shelter of the trees and looks around, considering. It has to be a setup. There's no way anyone can survive the hunters, and yet they themselves don't seem the type to use such a spot for a base. He considers this may have been where Mustache and Scar came from, but refuses to let go of the idea they came over the fence. They had to have. And if this is where they were hunting from, it means the fence is nearby. The other possibility is someone has survived and built this shelter as protection. Reed discards that idea immediately. No way. The hunters would tear this measly shack apart in a heartbeat. It's much more likely whoever lives here or uses this place for shelter is in league with the hunters, meaning no friend of Reed's. He waits a while longer, thinking if there is someone inside, they have to move eventually. But no one does. At least, not that he can tell. And better yet, no one approaches. The sky in the west is turning red and orange and purple, but Reed is in no mood to enjoy the colorful sunset. He is grateful night is falling. Plan already decided. Investigating the cabin is worth the risk, but only in full dark. It is torture for him to sit there and simply wait and watch. He forces himself to patience, struggling back and forth between fear and focus, knowing he should keep running, but needing to find out what is inside that shack. It becomes an obsession, as though freedom lies just beyond that door. Some magical portal to a happier place. He'll regret it if he leaves without finding out, knowing he will think about it and let it distract him until he is able to see what's inside. Leaving just isn't an option. Man, this is getting intense just reading it. Okay.
Mhm.
This shack, like, this is crazy. I'm like remembering this book all over again. There's 4 books in total, I think. So we have a long way to go.
I know there's quite a few books in the Narnia series. So.
Wow. And how many books are in your series, Jeremiah?
I'm at the very least I'm planning for.
Wow.
We're
My
gonna see how it
goodness.
turns out.
Okay. What's the longest amount of books you've written in a series?
26.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a kid's book though.
Wow.
Yeah, A to Z, all about monsters like
Wow.
Abe the amphibian and stuff like that, and Zoe the zombie and
Wow.
Very cool.
Xavier the xenomorph. But you're welcome to continue their story. I was just about getting this my good sleep.
Yeah, that's messed up, man.
You got that voice. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You start talking deeper and lower, and I'm like, all right.
I love to fall asleep too.
What do you say, Karen?
You do have a voice to fall asleep too.
Yeah, I like, yeah.
But I can tell you're getting real into it too because you're reading slower and focusing.
Yeah, I'm like scared, man. I'm like the more I go, I'm like, oh snap, what the heck is going on here? It's like I'm like getting cautious of my own words. Okay, all right, let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, I was thinking about doing this on TikTok sometimes. I may go live and just like read.
That'd be fun. I
Maybe
might have to do that with my book.
yeah, man. Yeah, you should. Like people, I saw someone doing it today with the Bible. Actually, since it was Sunday, I guess they were like they had like an AI reading the Bible, and I mean it was getting like the live had like over 1,000 people. I was like, what the heck?
Wow.
Yeah, for AI, it was AI doing it. Like, what the heck? All right,
Well, I guess I got to get some book reading AI.
right. All right. It's not until the sun is gone and he is surrounded by the dark that Reed realizes he has been on the run for a whole day. It feels like forever to him, a lifetime of fear and aching legs and worn out emotions. He's never been religious, neither were his parents. But Reed takes a moment and sends out an awkward prayer to the universe for a way out and to say thank you for keeping his life. He takes his time when he finally goes forward. Every step is calculated, every advance planned 2 moves ahead. He pauses often to listen, to look around him, especially when he makes it to the open. It's easier to move around without the pull of thick grass around his feet. Unchallenged, he reaches the rickety wooden door and peers cautiously through the uneven slats. He's not sure what to expect, half of him thinking it might be empty and the other looking for Neverland. What he does see is so strikingly ordinary, he feels some of his tension ease away. 3 cots line up against the far wall. The idea of a bed is extremely attractive. A bed of coals glow in the pot-bellied iron stove across from him, tucked into a corner. They cast just enough light to see by. Plenty. Reed can't believe it, but knows now more than ever he needs to find out who else is inside. The door isn't locked. He eases in and pulls it shut most of the way behind him. Reed holds his breath, checking every corner in a rapid succession. Then the ceiling. Nothing. No one. He is alone. The room is mostly bare, aside from the cots and 3 folding camp chairs arranged around the small stove. Sprawled next to the last one is a large army green duffel bag. Maybe his guess was right after all, and this was where Mustache and Scar were camping. But if so, why the third chair? Just so you know, Jeremiah, Mustache and Scar, they were two. Who were they? Kay? They were like 2 guys.
Like like there's two types of hunters in the story. So like there's the hunters that Reed is running from.
Like vampires.
Yeah, like the vampire type. We don't really even know what they are.
Yeah.
They sound like reapers.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
that. And then but then he actually ran into like traditional hunters like who were like hunting in the woods like for wildlife.
Mhm.
That's who Mustache and Scar are.
I
And
love their names. Did he name them
yeah,
himself?
He
yeah, I
named
know, right? Yeah, he named it himself. Yeah.
it himself because one had a mustache and one had a
The one that
scar.
had a scar.
Yep, yep. That's what I thought.
Yep. And so again, Reed's he's a kid. He's like 15, 14, 13, and
Oh, really? In
yeah,
my
Reed's a
brain,
kid.
I'm doing like this ex-military dude because I wasn't sure.
Ah, yeah. Yeah,
Well,
Reed's
I
a
feel like I think the hunters were like ex-military, like the former
yeah, yeah, like the actual like hunt the normal people that were hunting. Yeah.
Mustache and Scar, I believe
Assassin's
were
Spy.
ex-military,
Hmm.
if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
uh, character descriptions. But um,
They were like civilians, like actual civilians. And I guess Reed ended up finding out that he was wherever he's been dropped off in the forest, it's surrounded or the perimeter is a large electric fence. And he's
Mhm.
like, man, he can't escape. He can't get out of it. But he's like, how the heck did these civilians, Mustache and Scar, how did they get in here? You know, so he's like, obviously, if it's a fence, there's a gate. There has to be a gate somewhere that he can access to get out of there. And so he's like, kind of, shuffling throughout the perimeter, trying to find that gate. And then I guess he stumbled upon the shack that he's now looking at. He's like, but Scar and Mustache, they ran into Reed, or Reed ran into them, literally, while he was running from the hunters. And once he ran into them, it was too late. By the time he ran into Scar and Mustache, he was running away from a hunter, and the hunter, essentially, while he was trying to explain to Mustache and Scar what was happening, like, hey, this crazy, whatever these things are chasing me. There's more than one. And he's like, whatever these things are, they're like growling and climbing through trees, and I can't see them, and they're just super fast. They move almost like ninjas. And
Yeah.
he's like, he's describing that in the middle of him describing that, Scar gets like his he gets beheaded. The other guy gets like his legs sliced off, and they just die, and then Reed just keeps running. So the whole it's just like a game of just hunt, prey and predator. It's
Cat
crazy.
and mouse.
Yeah, cat and mouse. Exactly. Exactly. So now we're at a shack, and I don't know what the heck. I don't even remember this. I don't remember reading this at all. But I read this in college, so I guess 5, 6 years. I'll do it to you. Let's see.
Man,
yeah,
5, 6 years. Whew.
Yeah,
You're
man.
just a
Actually,
kid. I always forget.
yeah, man. Probably 7 years ago. Actually, probably seven. Yeah, I was probably 7 years when I read this. I was probably a freshman in college. All right, let's see. All right, I'll start from the door is unlocked. Okay, the door isn't locked. He eases in and pulls it shut most of the way behind him. Reed holds his breath, checking every corner in a rapid succession. The ceiling, nothing. No one. He is alone. The room is mostly bare, aside from the cots and three folding camp chairs arranged around the small stove. Sprawled next to the last one is in a large army green duffel bag. Maybe his guess was right after all. Is where Mustache and Scar were camping. But if so, why the third chair? Reed crouches next to the bag and undoes the thick steel zipper. He draws a deep breath of shock and joy at the contents. Never so happy to see ordinary objects before. He jerks free a pair of pants, a scratchy wool blanket, a large bottle of water winks at him in the glow of the coals. He digs deeper, finds matches, more water, and his stomach cramping in need at the sight. Food. Power bars and crinkly metal foil. What looks like army rations and tin cans of beans and meat. Reed tears the wrappers from one of the bars and shoves the whole thing in his mouth, barely chewing before he swallows and stuffs in another. He makes himself stop at two, not wanting to waste what he ate because of his guts' rebellion, remembering his first drink at the stream. For a long, horrible moment, as the food hits his belly, he is terrified that that's exactly what is about to happen. But after a twinge of unease, his stomach settles and leaves him alone to do what he needs to do. Reed discards his filthy jeans and pulls on the fresh pants, wishing he would manage a shower, but feeling better for the clean clothes anyway. The khakis have a ton of pockets, which he fills with more food and a smaller water bottle. Finally, he He's caught a break and plans to take full advantage of it. The sight of all that stuff makes him greedy, and he argues with himself over how much he can take and run with. He is just stripping off his shirt when a branch snaps outside. But in the distance, Reed freezes. Could be an animal. Could be the hunters. He isn't taking any chances. The fresh t-shirt is on in a flash. His decision made without a thought. He takes the whole bag, the handles firmly grasped in his hand. He can discard what he doesn't use later, but for now, he has to take it all with him. Reed makes it to the door and peeks out. Movement. People. Large people. Hunters. He panics and bolts, the bag dragging behind him. He is brought to an abrupt halt, sore right shoulder brutally jerked in its socket when the duffel refuses to follow him. Reed allows a glance back. The heavy canvas is hooked on the door jamb, one corner torn. He is out of time. With a silent groan, Reed chooses escape over comfort. He releases his death grip on the bag, letting the handles go with aching regret, and runs for the safety of the tree line. He pauses one more moment to look back as three shadows approach the shack. He sees them discover the bag, crouch over it, mutters growing louder as they communicate. Time to go. Reed copies his earlier tactic and adds a new element. As he runs, he doubles back on his path, making it as hard as possible for them to follow him. The food in his stomach is just enough to give him energy to run until the moon rises. Reed finds a thick bed of shrubs and squirms inside. There he devours two more power balls and half the water. He snuffles the last of the crumbs from the packages, licking every last bit away, the sweet and salt stinging his tongue and making the insides of his cheeks tingle. This time his stomach cramps for real. Reed lies down on the hard and uncomfortable ground, silently begging his body to hold on to what he has eaten. He breaks out into a cold sweat and waves of nausea beating against him, pain washing over his gut in cycles. He focuses on the moon hovering over the edge of the trees. How beautiful it is hanging there, shining down on him. His stomach clenches tight, punishing him for starving it for so long, before slowly easing and leaving him in peace. Reed lies there for a while, letting the sweat dry in the beginning of the gentle breeze rising from the south. His hands explore his pockets and find only two more bars. The rest of his booty must have fallen out as he ran for his life. Reed considers the cabin. He could stake it out, wait for another chance to raid it. Problem is, he knows they will be watching for him now. With deep regret, he lets it go and focuses on moving ahead. After all, he now has food in a bottle to hold water when he finds it. He's in much better shape than he was only an hour ago. He had no idea his optimism had such resiliency, and finds himself grinning and wishing his father was there. I I I'm stressed because what the heck was that? Those couldn't have been hunters in a freaking shack. I refuse to believe that.
I got distracted for a moment and started giggling to myself when you're like, his booty rat fell out. And I thought
Right.
you literally meant his booty. So
His
it like
booty
hit you
fell
over
out
my
of
head.
right. His booty falls out of the jeans. It's like what the heck, bro?
I'm like, wait. But other than that, yeah, I want to know what was hunting or what, not the hunting, but what was in that
Well,
cabin with the beds.
I feel like, because like Reed got kidnapped at the beginning and there were men
Mm.
so like I feel like it's gotta be their like shack or something, right? Could be them.
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah, the men that kidnapped him. You're saying it got to be men like that.
It could be.
Yeah, but why wouldn't the hunters attack them?
Probably because they're in control of it.
Mm.
Maybe they're in cahoots.
The military running some secret scientific experiment.
Yeah.
Could be.
I mean,
But
that's always a fun story.
Or just rich people.
Rich people. That's all we need.
yeah, right. That's true. But why would they be in the heart of hunters that are hunting humans? They only commanded them to hunt children while they while other people just camp in shacks around it. Like that's sadistic.
There's some sick people out there, buddy.
Man,
Except for that, they didn't just hunt children because Mustache Man and Scar were not children.
that's true. That is true. Yeah, cigar and mustache were not children. They were like freaking 40, 50. Like they were like well up there. And they were like ex-military. Like so like yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Maybe this is an enclosure to feed the hunters so they don't like go out and escape.
Mm.
Could be.
Like Jurassic Park type thing.
So, oh, so you're saying, Jeremiah, that perhaps Scar and Mustache were they were somehow coerced into entering, and it's like, okay, like you're in here now, so you're part of the food.
Totally.
Wow. But then these guys in the cabin, obviously they're like they can't be hunters, right? Because they have like khakis and power bars and water. Like hunters wouldn't, these hunters are climbing freaking trees.
That it's not a hunters, it's definitely a human.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know
I
where
don't know. All I know is that when we're done here, I'm gonna have to write down the name of that book so I could find the
Yeah.
audio book. And
Oh man, yeah, you're gonna love it, man. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna post it in the group.
all right, cool.
Yep, I'll post it actually right now. Let me screenshot it. Uh, yeah, man, it's a whole series. Like it's the first book is titled Run, the second book is titled Hide, and then the third book is titled Fight, and then I think there's like two other ones. So it's intense, man. I think I tried to write the author before.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I think I tried to reach out to her um on socials to kind of see if I can get an interview.
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, 'cause she's incredible, man. I don't know how she did it. It's by Patty Larson.
Mhm.
That name sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, she's kind of a I would say an underground author if that's the terminology that's used, but she's definitely an author I think that's not well known.
Yeah, I'll have to look way into it.
Patty Larson. Yep, I'm gonna post it in the books group right now. Let's see. Yeah, because to be honest, man, I think you could get a lot of inspiration from these books.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hmm. And I can see you working with her, actually. I can see you and her coming up with some amazing books, man. I'm serious. I can see you working with her.
I don't know. My brain goes to weird places, buddy.
Hey, man. If it's any weirder than hunters and scar and mustache and shacks, and if it's any weirder than all this, man, then hey,
I mean, you'll learn once you read my first book there.
man, I can't wait, man.
I'm actually keep trying to send it to you on Facebook, but it won't let me.
Oh,
Actually, if you want my email, I don't know if maybe email may be a little bit easier
Uh, yeah, probably.
because I know Facebook and sometimes certain social media platforms can have restrictions in terms of length.
Yeah,
yeah.
I wouldn't be too surprised.
Hmm. But I did send, I
Well,
posted this book on in the books group just so you know, have that reference.
cool.
Man, I kind of want to
Oh,
keep going. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm itching to know what the heck is in that freaking shack, man.
I
I
wouldn't be
know.
able to stay awake through
I'm about to say,
Yeah.
we're already past time, Trey.
I know, I know. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah. All right. This is what the heck, man? I just don't remember this. I don't remember the shack. Like I'm really about to read this whole freaking series over again. This is crazy.
I mean, it's been good for
Uh,
me reading these. I haven't read these books in a long time either.
Really?
So
We're almost done. We're almost done with that book. Looking at your bookmark.
getting closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to find this old horror book that I used to read in like the fifth or the sixth grade that I just got hooked on. It's a short horror book, so it might be fun to read on here.
yeah,
Yeah,
man. Bring it on.
It's about Stonehenge.
let's do it.
Mm. Man, please bring it on, man. Because again, that's what this group is about. It's about like we just choose books and we read them, and that's
Yeah.
and we put each other on to new books, and that's literally what I wanted this to be. So to see it turning out this way is perfect.
Oh
It's
yeah, definitely. When I make it by again, I'll read the first chapter of mine because I thought ahead. My chapters are 3 to 4 pages each.
gotcha. Oh yeah, that's good. That's a good length for a book. If you have a book series that's pretty lengthy, that's a good length. Definitely bring it on, man.
Totally.
Definitely bring it on. I don't want to make y'all fall asleep. I know you're getting sleepy, man. Hey, I have that power, I guess.
All right, we will do, buddy. All right, well, thanks for having me again tonight, guys. It's always a great time.
Absolutely. Man, Jeremiah, you gotta come on again, man. It's a pleasure having you, bro.
Oh, I'll be here.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And Kay, thank you too. Thank you for reading. I mean, that was amazing. As always, you always bring the flavor to the groups and the organization and keeping us all intact while doing so. So I thank you too. That was amazing. Thank you for, the sleep, the rest. I was able to get some good rest.
Here, you turned your microphone on mute, huh?
Nah, look. I hit a little snore there, here, there, but you didn't if you didn't hear it, I didn't do
That's right.
it.
Not on mute.
Nah.
That's it.
Nah, but I love you. I love y'all so much, man, and thank y'all. Like the love is always here in terms of y'all. Y'all are family, and this is definitely a group, a brand that I want people to come to and be able to freely talk about their passion. So we're doing it. We're growing. We're definitely growing.
You got to push it.
And Jeremiah, I'll hit you up too about the moderator stuff, man. If you ever want to be one for any of the communities, again, we can talk about that, man, and that way you can join some of the calls a little more often.
Definitely.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
All right, ladies and gents. See y'all later. Love y'all.
Bye.
Good night.